Our next question comes from Rob. I'm 51 years old and about 2 years away from retirement. I'm a single man currently with no dependents, and I've been investing about 30% of my income. I have $300,000 in my tax-deferred thrift savings plan account, $400,000 in my Roth TSP, $150,000 in a Roth IRA, and $300,000 in my brokerage account. My TSP accounts are equally split among 3 index funds, CSI, and the brokerage account is split about 50-50 between index funds and a handful of individual stocks. I also expect my pension from the military will be approximately $4,000 per month and that my mortgage will be paid off in the next few years. What would you recommend I do with these funds upon retirement to maintain a healthy lifestyle, not extravagant by any means, that will allow me to travel occasionally, volunteer my skills and time for a cause, and still leave a healthy sum to charity, school, church, etc. when I die? How should I invest them? Should I combine the accounts? Am I on track for a healthy 30-plus year retirement?
Such a good question. You should also see a financial advisor. We're open at Motley Fool Wealth Management.
A sister company of the Motley Fool.
And actually, I think my first response would be, man, I want to see your statements. You're single? Show me your statements, sir.
Sean, you are not single, so...
Oh, damn it. But he's open-minded.
So this touches on a number of things that I run into all the time. And I would say... the big piece that you're missing here that would help someone answer this well is how much do you want to spend in retirement? So you listed all of your assets. I don't know how much you're going to spend. If you want to spend $30,000 a year, you're probably fine. You can do whatever the hell you want. Most people that I run into, especially people who have been following the Fool for a while, are in better shape than your average bear. Better to the standpoint of they actually could have a very healthy lifestyle on their goals because their goals are usually modest. And so without knowing much more about your situation, I would say you're probably fine, but we could certainly get more into the weeds. And I would say also one of the things that I fear you've missed as well is your saving strategy seems a bit wonky. I'm presuming that you have a decent income and you probably made the calculus that you wanted to save after tax to Roth money because that's the most tax efficient growth that you can get. But you also find yourself at a young age with a military pension of being able to retire well with that sort of pension. And you also get to dictate your income in retirement before you turn on Social Security and before you turn on your RMDs. And so it might make more sense to save pre-tax rather than Roth now, claim the immediate tax deduction that affords you, and then start harvesting income in between the years that you retire and turn on your various income sources. So this is setting yourself up for the best success in retirement that people often forget to ask about.
Yeah, so he asked about what to do with the accounts too. So the TSPs, the thrift savings plans, basically the 401k for federal employees. And all their funds have these letters. So he has CSI. C is basically common stock, the S&P 500. S is small cap, I is international. It is extremely low cost, very efficient plan. So for most people who are in the TSP, I don't see a reason to move out of that unless you want to be able to use some more of that money to buy individual stocks. And this addresses a lot of questions we receive about, I've left my employer, what should I do with my old 401k? And it comes down to, number one, do you even have a choice to leave it there? And sometimes you don't. They're going to kick you out eventually, and it's better you to take the initiative to move it. Number two, costs. We talked about the previous person with the horrible plan. You would definitely want to move out of that if you can. And then number three is options. Again, in the TSP, you just have index funds, and you might be perfectly happy with that. But if you want to have other options, you would move it out of the plan. So I would definitely, for him, I would say it's probably fine to leave the money. But for other people who've often asked what to do with old 401ks, those are things to consider: costs, options, and other choices that you might want. He also asked about a 30-year retirement, but he's planning to retire in his early 50s. Yeah. So he really should plan on a 40-year retirement.
Absolutely. And I would say one other thing that we didn't touch on is the investment plan. And here again, it's such a unique perspective because if you're as in good a shape as I think you are, one of the benefits of financial planning that people don't appreciate, I think, is that if we run the projections specific to your situation, it's very likely that you could choose what you want your investment plan to look like. And what I mean by that is you could just stay in cash, just raw cash earning you 2% and probably meet your financial goals, but you might die with less money than you would want. Or you could be very aggressive and die with a lot more money, but you open yourself up to near-term risk and how you handle that. And so you could choose anywhere along that spectrum, but it's up to you and what you value. Do you want to die with a lot of money, or do you want to have a more luxurious life now and maybe be able to sleep better at night? And so these are just conversations that are worth having for a lot of folks that don't know where to turn.